Hey lovely sexy hobby people, welcome to today's video, which is going to be the look through for issue 68 Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. So come and join me on the desk and we will take a peek. Hey lovelies. Right, issue 68 Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer. We get some, I'm gonna be kind and say orange and white coloured dice. In a tin. Not being funny, but this plastic insert is the most handy bit about these tins. Let's pop that there. Let's do that. And building a dungeon, part 4. From slime to shriekers and from spider webs to poisonous mould, there are plenty of horrible hazards you can place in adventurers' paths. Dungeon delving is rarely a relaxing affair. If you like flora that's pretty and harmless, try a conservatory. Down in the dungeon's depths, it's not just monsters that want you dead. No death is lurking. Sorry, I'll start again. No, death is lurking in the walls, ceiling and floors, just out of sight. Over Leaf, you'll find a few examples of the environmental dangers often found in dungeons, including the Underdark. Mechanically, these are similar to traps. Further dungeon hazards can be found in Law A, Locations 13B, Travel in the Underdark. So, it says damage severity by level. So, first to 4th, setback 1d10, dangerous 2d10, deadly 4d10. 5th to 10th level, setback 2d10, dangerous 4d10, deadly 10d10. What the actual flip? 11th to 16th level, setback 4d10, dangerous 10d10, deadly 18d10, and then 17th to 20th character level, 10d10 for a setback, 18d10 for dangerous, and 42d10 for deadly. You're having a tin bath, aren't you, mate? Right, detecting hazard. When a hazard is hidden, like a trap or green slime lurking on the ceiling, the characters must make a wisdom perception check to spot it. A hazard that's in plain sight but resembles something benign, such as patch of slime or mould, must be identified with a successful intelligence investigation check. Use the table below to set an appropriate DC for any check made or to spot or recognise a hazard. Task, very easy, DC 5. Task, easy, DC 10. Moderate, DC 15. Very hard, DC 25. Nearly impossible, DC 30. Hazard severity. Dungeon hazards in published adventures come with game statistics. Improvising one. When improvising one, use the damage severity table on the left to determine how deadly it should be for characters of a given level. So he's talking about brown mould, green slime, webs from giant spiders, yellow mould, and random dungeon hazards here. And that's just the D20 for rolling for these. And some other bits and pieces. So violet fungus and spider webs aren't included in these bits. Right, building a dungeon part 5. No one ever said dungeon crawling was easy. Make life trickier for adventurers with these obstacles and tricks tables. So random obstacles, a D20. I'll just read out a couple. So number 1 would be anti-life aura with radius of 1d10 by 10 feet. While in the aura, living creatures can't regain hit points. Let's do 13, 14. Flooding leaves 2d10 feet of water in the area. Create nearby upward sloping passages, raised floors or rising stairs to contain the water. And then we'll do 20. Wall of force, see right blocks passage. Wall of force, here we go. So 5th level evocation. Casting time is 1 action. Range 120 foot. Duration concentration up to 10 minutes. VS&M. A pinch of powder made by crushing a clear gemstone. An invisible wall of force springs into existence at a point you choose within range. The wall appears in any orientation you choose as a horizontal or vertical barrier or at an angle. It can be free floating or resting on a solid surface. You can form it into a hemispherical dome or a sphere with a radius of up to 10 feet, or you can shape the flat surface made up of 10 foot by 10 foot panels. Each panel must be contiguous with another panel. In any form, the wall is a 1/4 inch thick. It lasts for the duration. If the wall cuts through a creature space, when it appears, the creature is pushed to one side of the wall, your choice which side. Nothing can physically pass through the wall. It is immune to all damage and can't be dispelled by dispel magic. A disintegrate spell destroys the wall instantly. However, the wall also extends into the ethereal plane, blocking ethereal travel through the wall. There you go. You've been told. A D100 for tricks. Trick effect. Let's do 11 and 13. Bestows resistance or vulnerability. 30-32. Enlarges or reduces characters. That'd be interesting. Eat me, drink me. 48-50. Casts Gaius on the character. See left for spell description. 72-75. Presents a puzzle or riddle. And 94-97. Teleports characters to another place. Trick objects. D20, you got books. So 1 to 11, and then, so 1 to 20, you got book. Brain preserved in jar. Burning fire, cracked gem, door, fresco. Furniture, glass sculpture. Mushroom field, painting, plant or tree. Pool of water. Runes engraved on wall or floor. Skull, sphere of energy. Magical energy, that should be. Statue, stone obelisk, suit of armour, tapestry or rug, target dummy. So, Gaius.
Step 3, assess.
It must be 4 o'clock. Let me turn the telly off.
I think it's time for a cup of tea. Step 4.
Apologies for that. It is on timer for certain programs. Right, 5th level enchantment. Save is wisdom. Casting time 1 minute. Range 60 feet. Duration is 30 days. What the hell? Components V. You place a magical command on a creature that you can see within range, forcing it to carry out some service or refrain from some action or course of activity as you decide. If the creature can understand you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or become charmed by you for the duration. While the creature is charmed by you, it also takes 5d10 psychic damage each time it acts in a manner directly counter to your instructions, but no more than once each day. A creature that can't understand you is unaffected by the spell. You can issue any command you choose, short of an activity that results in certain death. Should you issue a suicidal command, the spell ends. That's handy. You can end the spell early by using an action to dismiss it. A remove, curse, greater restoration, or wish spell also ends it. At higher levels, when you cast the spell using a spell slot of 7th or 8th level, the duration is 1 year. Oh, crap. When you cast this spell using a spell slot of 9th level, the spell lasts until it is ended by one of the spells mentioned above. Right. Let's not get shafted by that one then, shall we? Right, home brewing, part 3, monsters. Tweak monsters to match your campaign or build entirely new threats for your players to face down. Again, moving on from what I said last week, if you're home brewing monsters, do not go for the power build, because that's likely to just piss off your players if you're capable of killing them in one round of combat. that's like ridiculously overpowered. Again, the problem I had with the DM in my last campaign, she really went for her power builds to the point that she would have to nerf some of those powers within the game in order for us to avoid having a complete TPK every time that we faced one of her monsters. Not just once or twice when we faced her monsters, but every time. That to me suggests overkill, quite literally. So, size and creature type, ability scores, languages, proficiencies and senses, spells, just things that you can use when making up your monster. Creature traits, so aversion to fire, battle ready, beast whisperer, death jinx, dimensional disruption, disciple of the nine hells, disintegration, fey ancestry, forbiddance, gloom shroud, light, mimicry, poison tolerant, resonant connection, siege monster, steadfast, telepathic bond, telepathic shroud, ventriloquism, warrior's wrath, and wild talent. When designing a monster for challenge rating, you need to know how strong it is. The best way to make a monster that's not too strong or too weak is to base it off an existing monster of an appropriate challenge rating to the party and keep most of its numerical values like ability scores, hit points, armor class, attack modifiers, attack damage, number of attacks it gets per round, the same while giving it new traits that make it feel like a brand new creature, which is what these creature traits were. So, homebrewing spells. Scribbles in your spell book or channeling magic in a new way might lead to unique and exciting arcane development. Manipulating the effects of existing spells or creating brand new spells is a great way to put your stamp on the game. You might use these spells as a way to add extra flavour to your campaign or allow one of your players to personalise their character with a unique spellcasting addition. Clear concept. To begin with, you should clearly define a spell's primary function. Yeah. Name the spell. Identity. Make sure the spell fits with the identity of those who can cast it. For example, sorcerers and wizards don't typically cast healing spells. Spell duration, range and area. Spell components, level, and then playtesting. And then you have a spell damage and healing. For any spell that deals damage, use the table below to determine how much damage is appropriate given the spell's level. And then you've just got like 1 to 9, which are you've got cantrip, and then 1 to 9, which are the spell levels. And then what the damage is, like say for one target 1d10, multiple targets 1d6. Homebrewing species and backgrounds and subclass. So talking about if you want to create a new species within your homebrew. So subclass features and then background, and again play testing it. Lore, locations 21, the 9 hells. This place has really gone to hell. Baitor is not, to put it mildly, your run-of-the-mill region. Better known as the 9 hells, this plane of greed and abject misery has, as its name suggests, 9 layers. No planar portals connect directly to its lower levels by order of its ruler Asmodeus, or Asmodeus. As such, the first layer of Avernus is the arrival point for visitors to the plane. To reach the deepest layer of the 9 hells, one must descend through all the layers above it in order. Yeah, that really doesn't sound good. Layer 1, Avernus. The ruler is Archduchess Zariel. Layer 2, Dis. Ruler, Archduke Dispeter. Layer 3, Minoris. Ruler, Archduke Mammon. Layer 4, Phlegethos. Ruler, Archduke Belial. And Archduchess Fiona. Layer 5, Stygia. Ruler, Archduke Levistus. Layer 6, Malbolge. Archduke Glacia. Layer 7, Maladomini. Ruler, Archduke Beelzebul. The Lord of Flies. Layer 8, Cania, Archduke Mephistopheles. Get it right. And ruler, layer 9 is Nessus. Ruler is Asmodeus. Unicorns, why the long face? Only those with evil in their hearts need fear these celestial creatures. Cool. Divine guardians and magical power. There's a new film coming out about unicorns. Some sort of comedy horror. I'm looking forward to seeing it. Right. Adventure 6, Encounter. Hold the line. This encounter is balanced for 5th level characters. Players can use the pre-generated character sheets or create their own. Encounter background. The final battle for Gauntlgrim is upon you. Bruenor is out of the fight and the characters must take up arms alongside their dwarven allies to hold the redoubt lest it be overrun. Encounter goals. The characters must defend the vault of King's Gate against the undead for 10 rounds. If they prevail, the orc cavalry arrives to reinforce them. So there you go. Zombies. Battlefield effects. We got a D20 for battlefield effects. So 1 to 9 is nothing. 10 is a grave blast. 11 is blinded. 12 is bludgeoned. 13 is collapse. 14 coughing. 16 deafened. 17 pinned. 18 rubble. 19 thrown. 20 unconscious. The throne gate. Well, that'd be a cool little thing to build. From a tactical point of view, I would not have had the steps there because all that happens then is the enemy comes in and straight up the steps. I would have had the steps here so it gives you a chance to pick off people as they run round. Just, you know, from a tactical point of view. Attack waves. Waves 1, wave 2 and wave 3. And we have Barrowghasts, zombies, and Deathlock White as our enemies. Right. Let's pop that there. Let's get rid of that. Let's pop that. Let's not pop that there because that happens. Right. Ignore that. I'll check the damage out in a second. I don't think anything's damaged. It was mostly a piece of hardboard and some foam walls that I've been working on. So there's your tin. Here are your dice. I mean, to be quite honest, they're brown more than orange to me. They look a bit pukey. I'm not loving the colour. I had a German Shepherd once and a friend of mine fed it a chicken kebab for shits and giggles, and yeah, its shit was this colour when it came out the next day. The look on the poor dog's face as he was straining. So I've rolled a couple of low ones on the D20. That is a 13. That's a 16. Oops. That was a, I think that's a 20. the ampersand. 12, 2, 5. I don't know why I roll them on this, because I roll them in a dice tray, and when I get to the dice tray, it's like completely different. Yeah, so I'm not loving these. I'm probably not going to use them just because of the colour. But hey, there you go. Those are your dice. So the top number is the ampersand on these dice. So that would be a 6, and it obviously the ampersand will denote like it's not on the D4 by the way, but it's on the D20, D8, the percentile dice. Yeah, it's on the percentile dice, so the 100. It's on the D12, and it should be on the D10 as well. So there you go. That is Dungeons & Dragons Adventurer issue 68. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to go and look and see what carnage has happened, because something was precariously balanced where it shouldn't have been. And I will speak to you later. All right, take care. Bye-bye.